Okay.
And we're live. Welcome back to another Corona Geek here, where we talk all about mobile application development, desktop application development, cross-platform development using Corona SDK. I'm your host.
About time.
I know it. I know it. It's a crazy world. This crazy, crazy world. I'm your host, Charles McKeever, and today we are going to continue our desktop development series. We've been developing a game, a desktop game, and today we're going to implement some player navigation and some other things. If you haven't seen the other shows, you definitely need to go over to youtube.com/coronageek and check those out. We've had 3 or 4 episodes now where we've talked about things like, keyboard input, mouse input, desktop configuration, what your project should look like, where you can get third-party assets for your games, and how those should be implemented, and just a wealth of information on desktop development. So if you're into that thing, you want to kind of explore, get outside of the mobile space, go check that out. All the source code is provided. You can download it, free of charge. Joining us on the panel today is Dr. Burton down in Abilene. You can find all of his books and materials over at burtonsmediagroup.com. Also joining us is Ed Marina from roaminggamer.com.
I know you want to say it.
Oh, God. Well, I so want to say something about your headphones. M-I-C-K-E-Y.
Hey, no jokes about the headphones, man.
That's right. Also joining us is Stephen from Evolvo Studios. Hey, Stephen, how are things going with what was it? Militant, which is a play on the word ant, where I was going. Yeah, Militant. How's that going?
It's going well. We're at the very end of the project, so it's all the exciting stuff is kind of out of the way. We're just fixing, iterating, fixing some more.
So this is where the real work begins, right? Yeah, it was all fun, all parties, lots of cake and cupcakes and unicorns, and now you're just like, oh, I'm so tired of this.
Always unicorns in the beginning. Speaking of unicorns, have you seen that new commercial? YouTube commercial?
No, I haven't.
Unicorns, ice cream cones. Look it up.
Okay, I will do that.
It's horrible. It's by the people who made. I'm pretty sure it's by the same people who made Poo-Pourri.
Oh, nice.
That'll set you up for what's going on there.
Yeah, that's a clear indication as to what to expect.
Yeah, not safe for work. Okay. Right. I personally don't think so. They probably say it is, but
yeah. Yeah, I work from home, and it's probably not safe for work.
Yeah, exactly. My mind was blown. I just stood mouth open. Anyways, carry on.
I don't know. I showed it in my classes as an appropriate form of entertaining commercials.
Oh, there you go. Viral. The formula for viral.
A commercial you can't believe is real.
Exactly. And somewhere between viral and just what do you call it, like jaw dropping, like you were saying earlier. I mean, there's a fine line between that.
Right. They tread the line very close, very near that line.
Well, before we get started, does anybody? I mean, we talked about Militant. Brian, do you have anything to announce, or Ed, do you have anything?
I do, but Brian, go first.
Okay. Well, I am working on revising the beginning mobile app development and learning mobile app development textbooks. So hoping by the first of the year have something ready to go on that. But if anyone has suggestions or has found an error or something like that, I'd appreciate just a quick email telling me what you found or the problem you saw, and I'll get that fixed for the next revision.
Awesome. Yeah. And anybody who's listening, if you're new to this conversation, burtonsmediagroup.com, go check it out. Brian is fantastic about updating his books. If you buy an advanced copy of his book, you'll get an updated version when it comes out, and then he continues to update it over and over again. Brian, when are you going to turn this into come on, Ed, help me with it, Patreon campaign? When are you going to turn it into a...
I will probably turn it into a Patreon campaign at the same time that I release the update.
Oh, really? Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I thought that way I can put the announcement in the message that goes out, and anybody that wants to support these efforts can do it. And you get the updated product in your hand at the same time. So I thought that it'd be nice if the two went together.
Yeah. I know I'm looking forward to that then, because I know personally I want to be on the list of supporters,
I
because
appreciate that.
the value that's come from you over the last few years, has been phenomenal, and you've never asked for another dime apart from the purchase of the book, right? And that's a great consumer model, but it's not something that is sustainable by the content creator, as most
What
mobile.
we're seeing is that Corona is becoming more and more popular, and that's what I'm hopeful for, and that it continues. And I am working on a more intermediate level textbook as well that looks more at databases and cloud computing and how we can use more advanced features that a lot of people are interested in that I just didn't have space or time to go into in the first book.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before, but I think that's where books should go, right? I mean, you buy a book, even a digital book, you buy it and it's out of date, especially in the software space where things change all the time. So it makes sense that it should be almost a crowd-funded, crowd-supported sort of endeavor, and then that thing is just evergreen. It just gets updated, as needed. So.
Right, and I think that's where we need to go in technical books. I know a lot of traditional publishers are, well, they're all about the profit margin. I'm an academic. I care about making sure people learn how to use it, but I do have bills to pay, so any support is always appreciated.
Exactly. All right, very good. BurtonsMediaGroup.com. Go check it out. Ed, what do you?
I don't know what it is, man. If it's the daylight savings time or these Mickey Mouse headphones, but now I'm sleepy. I swear to, if I fall asleep, you guys are gonna have to yell really loud. Okay, what? My announcement is sort of related to today's work. Later this week there will be first of all, let me know if I'm talking too loud too. Later this week there will be a release of SSK. I'm not used to this headphone thing at all. So, but I have been debating this for a while, and I had a discussion with somebody that I've been working with, and they gave me input on this that led me in this direction. And the direction that I'm going is I will no longer be trying to get people to use SSK. It will purely be something that I release to the public. It'll still be available, but it's going to be my own personal library, because I haven't seen a lot of adoption of SSK. Some people are using it. In fact, I get emails occasionally about it. But I get the most benefit out of it, it seems, and so I'm going to maintain it for myself primarily. So there's a world of things in there you should take a look at, consider. But I totally understand that people don't want to use it or all of it because it's big, it's hard to get into if you're new. I understand all that. But so there'll be a new release. I'm not going to maintain any docs or anything like that from here on out. So.
Okay, I think that's fair. I mean, you put a lot of work and effort into it, try to make it usable for other people. And if you don't feel like that's happening, then yeah, most of the value should stay with you.
Well, there was a split for a while too, like the public release and my private release, and I'm sick of doing that. So I'm just going to do a full release. It's going to be all out there. There's a lot of other stuff in here that hasn't been seen yet. So people should take a look at it, and if they can figure out how to use it, awesome. I'll still be using it to do examples and stuff. Not so much for this show, but answers for the forums and such.
Yeah, that would make more sense, right? If we're doing it for this show, kind of like, hey, here's this thing. It's not documented.
Yeah. No, but I will. On that note, the exploration part of our desktop enterprise here, let's call it that, is I get to do whatever I want to on that part because it's not really supposed to be. It's for us to explore and see the result of doing specific things. And in order for me to do that, I have to be able to code rapidly. So I'm using SSK for that. But when we do the game, which we're starting the actual game today, where we're going to start taking components out and doing them longhand, I will do everything longhand so that people who are not using SSK, don't want to use SSK, can still get into it and use it. It'll be standard Corona.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I would encourage people to follow your lead though, and even if they don't want to use your library, to maintain their own. because there's a lot of shortcuts that you can apply on your own time that, like you said, become very beneficial to you, and you know how to use them, and you don't really need to communicate them out to anybody else. It's about a speed and efficiency on your end. So look at what Ed's done in the past and and the concept that he's talked about, and apply those to your own workflow.
Yes.